Hello, I'm Brigantia Blackbird of Blackbird's Brew. Happy Friday and welcome to Wicca 202. Our theme today is Let Yourself Bloom. Now, imagine, if you will, planting the seed for a flower in just the right soil with ideal sun conditions, providing just the right amount of water. And you're watching it sprout up. You see it has a healthy stem and there are pretty green leaves, and you wait and you wait and you wait, but the flower never blooms. It would be quite a letdown, wouldn't it? All of that love and effort and potential just never coming to fruition. You may have learned a great deal through the process, and there is value in having gone through that process, but let's be real. The ultimate goal of the exercise was the bloom of the flower. Without it, the job really isn't done. Why am I talking about this? Because anyone who studies the craft is figuratively that flower. Sowing the seeds, cultivating the right soil, getting enough sun and water, growing, 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 but the process is incomplete until the person blooms into a fully realized practitioner. Of course, studying the craft is a lifelong journey. There's more to learn and discover than any of us have years to live. But there does come a point when one officially takes on the mantle of becoming a practitioner of the craft, and they walk forward with the knowledge and skills and the confidence befitting someone who does practice. That is the bloom. And sadly, not everyone who studies allows themselves to follow through into that bloom. Sometimes it's a case of nerves. They never feel quite ready to set down the books for a few minutes and just get to work. Other times, people learn that perhaps their well of talent is just not as deep as they would wish it to be, and so they give it up. Just because they're not a prodigy, and they have difficulty accepting that because they loved the idea of having all of this massive power more than they loved the idea of learning to wield the power they actually possess. And of course, it's sad, but it's true. And so it has to be said. Sometimes what the problem is that people can't quite let go of that previous religious programming that tells them that practicing witchcraft is somehow doing wrong. They can't bear up under the pressure of other people's disapproval. And so they just wither. It's sad. And these are just three examples. There's many more reasons why people might be holding back and not allowing themselves to graduate from student to practitioner. And this is a terrible shame, whatever the motivation is. But it does not have to happen to anyone watching this video. So ask yourself if you've really given yourself permission to put what you've learned so far into practice. And if you have, can you identify specific actions that demonstrate that permission? Our actions tell the story. As Aristotle said, we are what we repeatedly do. So, do we repeatedly perform the deeds that constitute witchcraft? Now, as vitally important as productive study is, study of the craft is not at all the same thing as practicing it. That would be like saying that you studied the history of baseball and therefore somehow you belong in the major leagues. No one would believe that. And it's the same principle at work. Now, what also isn't, the end all be all is, formal rituals and, major spells. I mean, they're a part of practicing the craft, but that's not all there is to it. Meditation is also practice, as is journaling, as is blessing your tea or your coffee in the morning, or taking a peek at the astrological placements of the planets on any given day and strategizing how you're going to use that energy to your best advantage throughout the day. It's about making small offerings to your house spirit or to the land or the gods and goddesses you maintain relationships. Practice is also about being a listening ear, offering good advice to someone who's struggling. It's about, providing that tarot reading. If so, another pagan is feeling need for some insight or guidance, it's about practicing pagan principles in your daily life as an expression of who you are. It's all the tiny things in our lives done with a magical awareness and intention that come together. And these are the things that separate a practicing witch from those who study or those who are merely intrigued by the idea of the craft. It is all in the doing and the manner in which that doing is done. The only question is, will you allow yourself to bloom? So, in that vein, our homework for May 26th through June 2nd. Number one, have you begun using your knowledge and practicing your skills? And if so, in what way? Number two, journal about ways in which you would like to witchify your life. Sometimes it just helps to have a vision. And number three, identify obstacles in your path. How many of those obstacles reflect internal fear? Meditate on what you can do to overcome that fear and then work on following through. So that is what we have for this week. And next week we'll be into a brand new month. So I hope you'll be back for that. In the meantime, comments, questions, concerns, complaints, any and everything, leave it for me in the comment section below or come see us on Gilded. Our server is called Blackbird's Brew, and you would be very welcome to join us. Link in the description box. Click on it, it'll take you to us. And hope to see you there soon. But that will do it for now, and I'll see you next time. Bye.